Now, did you know at that point that Joe was cooperating or no?
Hell no! I would have jumped across the table. I would have started choking him like you. I would have said, "You effing rat!"
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Goodfellow Podcast. Today we're lucky enough to be joined by former Bonanno crime family captain, Mr. Dominick Cicale. He's a best-selling author, sharp businessman, and now fellow podcaster. You can go check him out at the Mafia Roundtable on YouTube. Also, check out his premium vodka line, EG Vodka, and go show him some love, guys. Thanks.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure meeting you, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming on. First off, I just want to say that I know this was sort of last minute, and we really appreciate you making an appearance and coming on to answer a few questions. And we had some that the viewers sent in, some comments and stuff that people really wanted to see you guys together and collaborating on.
Yeah.
Well, we're together.
Stories.
We got Mutt and Jeff, Heckle and Jekyll, Tom and Jerry.
But you want to know something?
But you have to be the mouse.
Oh, yeah. I was on the low totem pole anyway, yeah. But you know something, being with you, it doesn't feel like we missed a beat, right?
No.
That's
And
the best thing.
this is the first time we've seen each other in 18 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Last time was 2006 at
Yep.
Putnam County Jail.
Yep.
When you came in and I broke the news to you that I was becoming a cooperator for the government.
Yep.
Now, did you know at that point that Joe was cooperating or no?
Hell no! I would have jumped across the table. I would have started choking him like you. I would have said, "You effing rat!"
Yeah.
So what did you...
Now you know why I didn't say nothing to you. I wasn't stupid.
We'll get to all that, but let's start real quick. Just for the viewers who don't know, where are you from, and what was your position within the Mafia?
Originally, I'm from the Pelham Bay section of the Bronx, New York. Later in life, I lived in Throgs Neck. That's also in the Bronx. So basically, I'm from Pelham Bay and Throgs Neck, which is a close area. It's a tightly knitted area with Italian, Irish
Right.
at that time. And then I rose to a position of official captain in the Bonanno crime family. And then I was part of the administration, and I was second in command behind Michael Mancuso when Vinny Basciano got arrested running the Bonanno crime family.
How were you first introduced to this life?
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't even know that I was being groomed for the life. I was naive to that. I was basically a young kid in the streets. I was a drug dealer. I was in the streets, and the money was actually brought me in. I wanted the finer things in life. And once you start making that money and you're able to buy things, it's like, I guess the allure of having stuff just took over, and it started my criminal
So you kind
climb.
of eased into it.
Yeah.
I gotcha. So
Slowly but surely, yeah.
From the point where you first started to be associated with these guys and start hanging around them, how quick was it? Because from what I understand, you had one of the fastest ascensions to capo in mob history.
Yes, I did. But it all started, too, in federal prisons. That's the breathing ground.
Yeah.
So you're around a lot of mobsters, and then with my family's history between my uncle and my father, they were both in the heroin trafficking at times. And it's just when I came home, I was home, I think I was released from the halfway house in December of 1999. February of 2000. So you have, I think it was like December 17th. So 2 months later, I'm killing somebody with Vinny Basciano. Just got out of jail. So if you're talking about ascending fast, me putting in a piece of work coming out of jail was extremely fast, and it wasn't for my doing. So, and then I was actually put in to be straightened out in 2001. I think it was 2001.
And that's fast, too,
And
to be straightened out right
but I
away.
had the history
Yeah,
too, Joe.
yeah.
I did. I killed somebody in 1988.
Right.
Went away for that. Came home, caught a case that I didn't do. Did 10 years for that. I was guilty of the drugs, but not guilty of the conspiracy. The drug count was only 3 to 6 months. They hit me with the conspiracy, and I wound up getting 10 years on that. But, you know, I was always in the streets. I had a bad reputation as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Violence, always stand up, but never back down. And it just, you know, my life, it's a fast life. But I felt I had the right mentors. I was groomed properly. And I just had a good reputation in the Bronx that when I came home, everybody gravitated to me.
Who were some of your mentors?
One of them was Ernie, Big Ernie. He was with the Genovese crime family. Muscarella. He was basically, I would call him a father figure. And then after that, it was Vinny Basciano.
Right.
He was a tough guy too, Ernie.
Yeah. Ernie?
Yeah.
Oh, very tough, real tough with his
Your
hands.
father
too.
told me a story when he knocked out a guy in the bar and they were taking bets and how long he was going to take till he woke up. That's how.
No, he's like a grizzly bear
Yeah.
too. He's a big boy,
Yeah.
and he's quick too with his hands. You wouldn't think he is because I sparred with him a little bit,
Yeah.
and I mean sparred. We never hit
Right.
because he's the type. If he gets hit like me, I get hit. You go to that limit, and so
That's
he
right.
never did that with me. But just playing and seeing his reaction, he was fast.
Yep.
He was fast.
So, in other words, I guess you were given an opportunity to prove your loyalty very early on. Right after prison, you were given that piece of work, and you were able
Immediately.
to prove that loyalty.
Immediately,
So,
yeah.
Was there any jealousy from people that were sort of you were brushing shoulders with, who maybe were sort of equal to you at that time, that you were able to sort of ascend so quickly?
Well, I could tell you something. There was people that were above me. They were made members. I wasn't made, and there was jealousy
From the made guys?
from the made guys
Wow.
because right away coming out of, now, mind you, and I'm going to Michael Mancuso, for instance. Brokester, fighting for the pennies on the street corner, had his old Mercedes, drive a Chrysler Pacifica, and that was it. All of a sudden, I had the CL 500, the Mercedes.
I remember it.
When they just came out with that style. I mean, the cars I had, BMW, just the Vet, 2 motorcycles, homes. Like, I excelled so quickly that he put a label. Michael Sullivan came up to me, saw me in the street, pulled over. I had the new Mercedes. I get out, we're talking. Now, Michael Sullivan and I came up together selling drugs. And he's like, Dom, what's going on? Good to see you, Mike. How you doing? We're going back and forth. He said, word on the street. Dom, what are you doing? You're still on parole. Word on the street, you're selling heroin. Now, Michael Sullivan was married to Selena Rodolfo. Her sister was Charisse Rodolfo. So that's who Michael Knows was going with. So I know it came from Michael Knows because they're at the house together. And that's what they're talking about. So, in turn, I didn't mention Michael's name. I said, you know what? Tell whoever said that they could blah, 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 blah. Really disrespectful I got. And I ripped that person, whoever said it, knowing it was Michael Knows. So then when I saw Vinny later that day, I told him what happened. I told him what he did. And he said, good, Bo. Michael's just a washwoman. That's all Michael is a washwoman. But he was one of the guys who was jealous. And he was already a made guy in the Bonanno crime fair. Mikey Knows, yeah.
So, Mikey Knows is currently the acting boss, or is he the...
No, he's currently the official boss,
The
and
official
his
boss.
name's Michael Mancuso.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Were you actively seeking the position of captain, or was it something that was offered up to you because of your skills?
No, Vinny's theory was, I want somebody there I could trust. I want somebody who I could count on, who knows me, who knows. Vinny could just look at me. We could be anywhere. Somebody would say something, and I already know the reaction. I know what to do, how to stand, how to conduct myself. And Vinny liked putting tough guys around him, guys who... Vinny would actually bring people to me who were big earners, and he knows I'm going to create something with them. That was just a gift I had, and I'm always aggressive. Whenever I do something, it's always 110%. So Vinny and I got along really well.
You were together all the time.
we were together all the time. We were inseparable.
Yep, all the time.
What were some of your primary responsibilities and things that you had to worry about as captain?
Just make sure the guys are in place, they're doing what they're supposed to do, and everything's running smoothly and generate money for the crime family.
But you had a big crew.
I had a massive crew,
Yeah.
27 guys, made guys.
Yeah, and that's
With
not.
me.
Yeah, a lot
I
of guys-
inherited everybody. They loaded me up.
Yep.
I think Joe did that too on purpose, just because he wanted to tell the government, look at these guys, they're dangerous.
Yeah.
Because Joe had in the back of his head, I'm cooperating.
Right. Right.
And I'm not sure if he cooperated at that time or what it was, but
But he
Joe
was smarter.
played it right.
He always wanted to have another way out, just in
Because
case.
technically, I shouldn't have had that many guys in my crew. There was other captains to spread everybody out.
Yep.
But they loaded me up with the shooters, with the money guys, and I was doomed to fail with that.
That's a big responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I controlled it.
You did.
I controlled it.
You absolutely did, and and I know.
What were some of the upsides of holding a place of that much power within the mafia, and more importantly, what were some of the downsides?
Downside is you have to be careful. You have to worry about people, because there was a lot of people I inherited I didn't know, I didn't trust, and they would ask me things that are illegal, and I would just, thread lightly with it. Especially I don't know them. The upside is the power, the prestige, the ways to make money. Now, I have money guys with me. I have guys who own restaurants, gyms. So it opens up the door for me to start a restaurant, start a gym, and move forward and, fill up my piggy bank.
Right. Now, how did you two meet within the Bonanno family, and what was your working relationship?
I met Joe when I came home from jail in 1999. He was dating my cousin, and she introduced us, and we just hit it off from the beginning.
Right away.
And Joe, were you already were you dabbling around? Were you loan sharking at that time already, or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was around the Bonanno family in Brooklyn. I was around Anthony Spiro's old crew, one of the guys out there. So I was going back and forth to Brooklyn for a while.
Gotcha.
And then, matter of fact, you asked me about that too one
Right.
time. Yeah. So I was dabbling, but I was more or less still on my own. I didn't really get close to anybody until Dominick, and then that's kind of when everything fell together.
Right. Joe's basically a loner. I used to say.
Yeah, exactly.
He used to do his own thing, come and go, and I really never put pressure on you
No.
I want you here all the time.
No.
I let Joe do his own thing. That's one thing I felt I was fair with people. I
Mm-hmm.
let them do their own thing. As long as they report, I see them, I know what I'm doing. I wasn't one that it's my way or the highway or just hop on you.
Right.
I let people be themselves, I felt. And,
And then after your wife at that time tried to stab you and all of that stuff, and
Oh.
all this craziness, he
Wow.
got locked up. His ex-wife was a little wacky out there, and then I went out and got him over.
Yeah, all the
there.
clothes and
All the
your
clothes.
Mercedes.
I had my two-door Mercedes S500, and there it was. But we looked like Mexicans in the car. I couldn't even see out the back window. He was moving out. I packed up my trunk, the back seat,
Everything loaded,
everything.
yeah.
We barely had enough room. I had to drive like this with the front
Yeah.
seat like this, all the way from Jersey. It was how far? You were a couple hours
that
away,
was out
right?
in Vineland, New Jersey,
Yeah.
about 2 hours out.
Yeah,
from
I had to drive
Barone.
2 hours like this going back with
Yeah.
with the clothes. But you got out of there, and that was a good thing.
Yeah.
But right there, he knew I was right behind him the whole time.
Yeah.
Dominick, what were some of your expectations from Joe as your sort of an earner underneath you, and how well did he fulfill those expectations?
I really had no expectations for you.
Nope.
I let Joe do his own thing. Like I said, Joe, I looked at him, Joe's a loner. Like Vinny would ask, he's a loner, I leave him alone. But Joe was always there. If I ever called him, he came.
Yeah.
If I had an issue, Joe came. Came. We would have killed with me, for me. So, and that's all I kept him there for. I think one time I borrowed money from you.
Yep.
Jjoe, I need 20,000.
Yep.
Joe, I need 20,000. Okay, here, meet me here, and he gave it to me.
Yep.
And that also was, a lot of people didn't know. So I borrowed money from you, paid you back.
Yes.
Joey Gambino borrowed, I think, 20,000, 30,000 from him, paid him back. There's people, and all because of Vinny was a degenerate gambler.
Yeah.
And, I did anything for him.
Yep.
And wasn't even for me. I think that also hurt. But I could never say no to Vinny.
No.
Because just that was my guy. That was my guy. It was my brother.
We had legitimate things getting ready to go on too. We were
Yeah.
gonna sell the diners and everything.
Yeah, with the diners.
Yeah. We had legitimate real estate deals.
We did. You're right.
Yep, so-
and you even gave me, I think, the last $35,000 when I was incarcerated.
Yeah.
After I was it after?
Yeah, you after
I cooperated, right?
Yep.
Yep.
And I
And
still,
they told you don't give me the money. You said, "Oh, too late. I gave it to him."
I'm cooperating too. I gotta give him.
Yeah.
well, it wasn't even that. He didn't know
Wasn't
that even
that
back
Joe
then.
didn't? Yeah, Joe could have looked at it.
Yeah.
Dom, I'll never see
Yeah.
Dom again, and
Right.
F him. But Joe did the right thing and sent the money.
While he was away.
Yeah. Thank you. You knew I would have came for you.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. Well, that's what Matt said to me. Matt says, Joe. I says, just Matt, don't you understand? Because he was putting the pressure on. Where's this? I said, I didn't get the money yet.
Right,
I
right.
get it. And I said to him, may he rest in peace. Matt was a good kid. And I said to him, I didn't have to give them this money. I'm still doing the right thing. He goes, well, he is coming home one day. He said that to me. But I said, no, Matt. I said, I made an agreement with your cousin.
Right.
I'm going to stick to it.
Yeah.
And that was it.
So, did you guys have a sort of more business relationship first, or were you friends first?
We were friends first. Yeah.
Friends.
One of the things good about Dominic, a lot of people don't really understand. When you gravitate to somebody, I could tell Dominic anything, right? I talked to him about other things. I talked to him about contract hits that were out there that we could have collected money on and stuff like that. I did everything. He's the one who he actually geared me up because he was groomed and he didn't know he was being groomed. I was not as groomed like him. My father was the kind of guy who wanted me to go my own way, but he said, let him figure it out. He was like, hey, nobody taught me.
Right.
So I was kind of not as, savvy in that life. So I made some mistakes when we were coming out that time when it was me, it was you, it was Anthony Ace, Anthony Donato, the four of us went out to Manhattan someplace and we almost got into a fight in the street. Some guy yelled at you, and I was getting out of the car. He said, get back in the car, Joe. I was like, all right. And then we got in the restaurant. We were talking, hanging out. We had a good time. And then Ace got out on my side first, and then I got out, and I went to go kiss him, goodbye. And he goes, no, not me.
And Ace goes, the protocol.
Yeah, the protocol. And I didn't know that.
And that's another thing in the life, folks. I'm a captain. Even with Ace is a soldier, Joe is an associate.
Yep.
If Joe would come in, walk into an establishment, even if Joe was a made guy, and I'm sitting there, I'm a captain, and Henry is over here, and Henry's an associate, and Joe walks into the establishment we're at, he's not going to, and say Henry's the first one in the group, he has to bypass Henry and come directly to me first. It's the level of respect. It's protocol. He has to say hello to me first or goodbye to me first before anybody else, and then he goes down the line.
And I didn't know that. So after I did that, then I went to go say, Dominic laughed. You laughed at me. He says, you're learning.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Switching gears here a little bit, Dominic, I want you to walk us through the moment that you found out that Joe was an FBI, not only an FBI informant, but undercover for 20 years. What were some of the emotions, and how did you react initially?
I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. I was upset, hurt, disgusted. And then years later, I thought about it. So I mull everything over. And I said, you know what? Wow. He could have actually set me up so many times. He could have framed me. He could have put me into cases. Joe had, Dom, I have to go kill somebody. Come on, let's go. I would have went with him. Dom, can you get drugs? Yeah, what do you need? Dom, anything. He knew we had a massive sports betting operation.
Yeah.
He could have started betting into me, or Dom, or give it to the feds. I don't know if he did or didn't. Obviously, he didn't. They didn't come and get me, but he could have hurt me many ways, and he never did. So I appreciated that. And I said, wow, he was a friend then, And then I understood, what he did, why he did it. So everybody has their reasons. I make no excuses to me, and I say to myself, anybody who cooperates, they take in the coward way out. Because there's no excuse. You, me, Sammy, anybody, Michael, there's no excuse. Because nobody twisted our arms to do anything illegal. We had that choice. We made that choice, and we're supposed to stick with that life. But at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Right. How did Joe's decision to cooperate with the government impact your ability to trust others within the Mafia, and also your approach to leadership?
Well, I was already out of the life, so I didn't. So yeah, it didn't impact me at all.
Right.
And now, if I was in the life and I found out, I would just.
Bye, Joe.
I would have been. I would. Yeah, I would have definitely
Yeah.
tried killing you, but
Yep.
I would have. It's just disappointing, and you start losing trust in people. You start questioning everybody around you.
Well, you know how different you were in the life
Right.
compared to what you are now.
Yeah. Well, you have to put up that shield. You can't
Yep.
show emotions. You can't show weakness. You can't show compassion, empathy. You just have to be hardcore,
That's right.
and that's it.
Were there any times that you suspected Joe of anything fishy at all?
No,
Never.
no, never.
I guess you're a good actor, Joe.
Thanks.
Well, he didn't listen. He never asked questions with me. He didn't pry into my stuff. If he would have been been inquisitive about a lot of stuff, asking things he shouldn't be asking, then, then it would start raising flags. Joe never looked to hurt me.
No.
So
Matter of fact, there was.
that's why there was never any thoughts. Maybe he's cooperating. Like, why is he asking me that? He never did that. So there was no reason for me to think that.
Right.
When there was a thing going in the street about Quiet Dom's son and all that
Right.
stuff, and we were he was barbecuing. I was going over to his house that day. Of course, naturally, I heard all about everything. The whole Bronx heard.
Right.
And I just walked up to Dominic. I said, "Hey, anything I could do? You all right?" He went, "You sound like."
Yeah, I think your words were,
Yeah.
"If you need me, I'm here for
Yeah.
you."
I said.
And what he's talking about, Quiet Dom was the acting boss of the Genovese crime family.
Mm-hmm.
His son was taken. So,
Yep.
and
so,
he's not missing. His son was killed.
Yep.
So, and they blame me.
And I didn't ask no questions. All I just said, "I'm here if you need me."
Right.
And that was it. He knew. And he went, "Yeah,
Got it. It's all right. Everything's
I said,
okay.
"Okay." And that was it.
Did you ever catch anybody being an informant or anybody?
No. No.
Were you afraid that when Joe was outed, that whatever connections you did still have to the life, even though you were out of it, were you afraid it would reflect poorly on you because of your closeness with Joe?
Who, Joe Barone?
Yeah.
No, I was already out of the life, so I could care less.
I got you.
It would have been different
If I was in the life, I could still care less
Yeah.
too. I would just tell everybody, so, and
Yeah.
I'm here. So,
That's why
it
you.
happens. He was a rat. We moved on now, and
That's it.
plus I didn't integrate you with people.
No. Only
I-
towards the end
yeah.
we were gonna, because of everything.
Right,
else.
but you didn't hurt anybody
No.
with me.
Nope.
So, and I would use that. Listen, any of you guys hurt? You guys are still here. I'm still here.
Yep.
Obviously, he didn't hurt any of us. So,
There it
whatever he
is.
did, thank God. Thank
Yeah.
God I did have a relationship with him.
Yeah,
They cared.
exactly.
This is a question I had from earlier. Is how close was Joe to being proposed by you to become a made man?
I would have never straightened him out. Now I'm joking.
Yeah.
No, he was close. He could have gotten. He would have been straightened out.
Yeah.
Would have been straightened out if he accepted it, of
Yeah.
course.
Which I think you probably would have, right, Joe?
Yes.
So, looking back on things, the whole situation as a whole, why Joe did what he did now, how do you perceive Joe's actions from both a moral standpoint and a legal standpoint of what he did? Would you have done the same thing, in other words?
Well, I did do the same thing, and then, like I said, we all took the coward way out,
Yes.
Right.
and that's just the way it is. So there's people that disagree. You can't disagree. Nobody twisted our arms to commit illegal activities. We did it on ourselves. We reaped the rewards of it. So when the bad times come, let me tell, and it's just not right. But I call it self-preservation, and F everybody.
That's
So
it.
I could care less.
Yep.
What are both of you, and I'd like to get an answer from both of you guys on this, what are your current perspectives on organized crime, today? And do you believe it's possible to fully leave that life behind?
I definitely fully believe you could leave that life behind, and I don't care about that life. It doesn't have that same doesn't have the same thing like what it's displayed or shown to be. Dominic and I are both in there, so we know exactly the pitfalls, the good times, the bad times, the hard times. I'm actually glad I'm away from it myself too. Matter of fact, I'm glad I'm still now with Dominic again too. It's like we're so different people now. It's really, really more. People got to grow up sometimes. You know what I mean? But I don't know if you want to feel.
Yeah, no, you can leave that life
Yeah.
behind, and we're a testament to it. We
Yep.
did it. We're both out. I'm out 11 years, haven't gotten a parking ticket. Joe's out how many years?
Oh yeah, over 15 now.
Over 15 years. So we did leave the life behind. You can. And the way the life is today, it's not what it once was.
No.
It's terribly fractured. Even look at the hit on me.
Yeah.
They found out that there's a hit on me. Like back in the day, they would have never known until the attempt was made. So it's, you don't know who's who anymore. Like the Genovese, they're totally underground, other than having morons like Michael Hippie there talking about killing somebody. All the old timers are just underground. They're doing it the right way, and they'll bring back strength by keeping it that way.
Yes.
But you have to change with the times. You have to acclimate and adapt.
That's
Otherwise, you'll just fail. You'll continue to fail. But the mafia is still there. It's still present.
It won't go away.
No, because the money's too big.
Yeah, it's it. You're always going to have that.
What advice would you two give to young people today who may be drawn to the allure of organized crime and this sort of lifestyle?
Find another way.
Go to school, get an
Yeah.
education. There's
Yeah.
too much legitimate opportunities nowadays to become successful within a short period of time, where you can amass a wealth that you never have to look back.
Yep.
Organized crime, drug dealing, the streets. Here's the way it goes: jail, dead, rob, and that's it. That's basically it. I would say one of the only people, Tony Accato, who was a boss, longtime boss, very few get away with it, have 40, 50, 60-year run.
The one from
You don't hear,
Chicago?
yeah, you don't hear of it anymore.
Yeah.
It was called the Big Tuna.
The Big Tuna.
Tony
Yeah,
Accato.
yeah.
Accato.
He was like an old man when he
Yeah,
went to the...
exactly.
I saw
Like
him.
his time was up.
Yeah.
There was another guy, I think Tony Libator. He was
Okay.
out of, I think, Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
I was away with him. He was in, I think, his 80s when I was away with him.
Wow.
That's when he got arrested. So he had a long run. But I'm going back to the 90s. You don't hear that anymore. You're doomed to fail stepping in the streets and in the life. So go to school,
That's it.
learn a trade, and
A trade or get something else.
yeah.
Always remember one thing. In this life, no matter what you do, right, wrong, or anything, there's always going to be certain consequences to some
Right.
part of your life. So what you do is you try to pick the one that's going to be the less thing that you're going to have consequences
Right.
about. So when you go to school, if you fail at it, that's on you. You know what I mean? You don't have to worry about people trying to testify against you or writing you out or
Right,
whatever.
right.
It's totally different. It seems good. You like to have people around you, But look. Out of all the people I was around, Dominic was the only guy I really gravitated to.
Right.
Even though I did like a few of the other guys we talked about, Anthony Donato. I did like Ace. Ace was funny.
Right. But you were my guy, so
that's
right.
it.
So
But that's
yeah.
it. So I was like, that was it, and I was cool with that. And
Right.
So yeah, I would definitely say go to school too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
This is another question for both of you. What sort of lessons have you learned from your experiences that you think could benefit others, and even just things that you've learned about people, how relationships, and that sort of thing too?
Don't call everybody a friend.
Mm-hmm.
A friend is somebody who has your back. There's very few people are your friends. They're your acquaintances. Always keep your guard up. Even till this day, just be careful. Don't anyone. Well, if you're talking about the streets, even in real life,
Regular life. Yeah.
just always be careful. Always double check. Don't trust. Don't trust easily. And that's it. Make people earn it.
And you're still in legitimate businesses, so you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. No, I
careful
see
there.
what's happening to me too
Yeah.
in legitimate
That's right.
businesses.
You,
I think the civilians are more ruthless than the mobsters.
because
It's
you know why? In one way, I think, and I never discussed this with you before, but I think it's because they think nothing can ever happen to them. That's what it is.
Right.
In our life, we knew something could
Right.
happen when we make a mistake.
right.
But yeah, no. And remember what Vinny used to say? Talk to everybody like they're wearing a wire.
Yeah.
Yep.
He should have followed that advice when speaking to Lou and Joe. Thank you. Need I say more?
I know.
Among my research of you and your history, I stumbled across a clip of you talking about an incident in prison where Vinny accidentally spoke about you doing a piece of work. candidly?
It wasn't accidentally.
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
candidly.
it was
Yeah, no, he
candidly,
was asked a question by the boss, and he instead of him keeping his mouth shut, saying "I don't know,"
So he did that on purpose.
He didn't do it on purpose. Yes, he did it on purpose, but not on purpose with the intent to get me locked up.
Yes.
Okay.
He did. The boss asked you, so you have that. Vinny has an answer for everything,
He told me that too.
and but he should have never spoke about it. He should have said, "Joe, I don't know. Joe, it wasn't us," or whisper, or say, like,
Right.
there's ways to protect.
Yeah.
And I just felt that wasn't Vinny
No.
speaking about a murder
No.
out loud.
Nope. And he said the same thing to me then too when I saw him when I was away, and we were in a law library, and he said, "Joe, the boss asked him what was I supposed to do." I didn't really want to answer him. Say you should tell him. You're telling me. You should know already.
That shows his guilt.
Yeah, that's
That
exactly
he
right.
messed up.
Yeah.
Because that's not Vinny to mention to you,
Nope.
Joe, what should I have done? Like, that's not Vinny.
Exactly.
By Vinny saying that, he knows he's
Well,
yeah.
and he didn't apologize to me because he said to me, as I said, Vinny, why'd you say I use girls for money and stuff like that?
Right.
I said, it just happened to be the girl I was dating had a lot of money.
Right.
That doesn't matter. And he went, no, Joe, yeah, you're right. And he never said, he shouldn't have, but he says, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but that's it. He
Right,
didn't
right.
ever apologize. But you're right. He did say it in that way, and I could tell in his expression that he
Yeah.
felt funny that he did
Of
that.
course.
Yeah.
He knows
He
deep
knew.
down.
Oh, God, yeah. Come on. He's been around too long
Yeah.
yeah.
We just have two last questions, guys.
Okay.
Looking back on this life, what are some of the things that you two miss most about it?
Do you want?
You could go first, yeah. It's all right, because it's probably going to be
What
the
I
same
miss
thing
most,
do.
just having carte blanche to wherever you go. If I wanted to go into Rayo's, I'd go into Rayo's, get a table like that.
Yeah.
And Rayo's is an eatery in Manhattan where they have a 2-year waiting list.
Yep.
Going to the strip joints, I walk right in, VIP table, they have my table. So getting the prestige of being in the mafia, getting that treatment, that special treatment.
Right.
And that's
It's nice, it's glamorous. It's like you're a celebrity.
it's enticing.
Yeah.
It is.
Having men coming up to you, like showing you respect,
Yes.
bypassing people, like, and average people looking like, who's that guy? Oh, he must be somebody. Look at the guys gravitating to him, basically
Yeah.
coming to him and showing respect.
And these are real men.
And
real-
Christmas time.
Oh, yeah.
Getting
yeah,
those
yeah,
envelopes,
Getting the envelopes. Yeah. And that's when, that's another thing I forgot to mention. That's when they come and get you, the feds, around Christmas time.
Yeah, holidays,
Holidays.
Thanksgiving.
They always-
That's when they look to get
When
you.
you're making big purchases and being
No, not that. It's just they feel with the
Yes.
family. Let me disrupt their family.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
when guys are
really?
most vulnerable to
Yeah.
cooperate.
Wow.
They do. They have a method to their madness.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
Your last
And
question?
This is going to be the last one here. What do you guys think are some misconceptions and things that Hollywood gets wrong when talking about mafia documentaries, movies, and that sort of thing? What does Hollywood get wrong?
Glamorizing the life,
Yeah.
like it's like
It's more
they're
money than they make it seem, right?
it's just glamorizing the life.
Yeah.
When in that life, all they do is extort, kill, threaten.
Yeah. You're better off with the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Because you know you're there, you got to go there, you pick up your check, you do your job, and that's it. In the life that we had, it's always changing. It's constant. How many hours did you even sleep during the week?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
he was up all. I see him 11 o'clock at night, and then I see him next. He's already up at 4 o'clock, right?
Yeah, in the morning.
In the morning, hitting the gym, doing what he had to do, getting everything ready, and I had to be ready in the
Look,
morning.
even
Yeah.
now.
Even now.
I mean, I left to come up here yesterday.
Yep.
I was up at 3 a.m. Last night you took me back to the hotel. It was what 11:30 at night.
Yeah, 11:30.
By the time I got into bed, it was 12 o'clock. I was up at 4.
Yeah, there you go.
And really, 3 more hours. I'm up 24 hours, and I got 4 hours sleep.
Yep.
And that was it. And I'm up. And I
That's
went
it.
to the gym. I have to get up. I have to move. I have to do things. But you know what? And I'll end it with this. I'll quote from Robert De Niro in Bronx Tales.
Okay.
It's the working man that's the tough guy.
Yeah, that's right. That's
The
the
working
truth.
man
That's
that's
a
the
great
tough
quote.
guy.
That is.
That's
Yep.
a great quote.
Yep.
Well, Dominic, I just want to thank you again for coming on. We really appreciate it, and a lot of interesting stuff. It's been a pleasure, and we'd love to have you on again in the future. Zoom on, Zoom.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for having me. I wish you much success with your channel. And people, don't forget, hit that subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. Sign up.
Yes, absolutely. And like I said at the beginning of the video, if you want to see more of Dominick, go check out his show at it's called the Mafia Roundtable on YouTube. Also, please remember to go check out his books on Amazon. He's a published, best-selling author.
Yeah, we're coming out with The Perfect Crime Family.
The Perfect Crime at the end of the summer, right?
Yeah, they could actually go theperfectcrimefamily.com and order it.
You heard it here first, folks. Theperfectcrimefamily.com. Go on there and pre-order. We have limited.
Limited editions. We're gonna have a nice package put together. It's well worth it.
Also,
EG Vodka.
Remember, he has EG Vodka, his premium vodka line. Go check that out as well, guys. We really appreciate you listening. If you enjoyed the podcast and you haven't already, please click the subscribe button, leave a like or a comment, and be sure to hit the notification bell so you're notified first when a new podcast is live. Thanks so much, guys. And take care.
Thank you. Peace out.